Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise Book Series channel. I'm Christina, KristinaDeluise. Today we're talking about Nora Roberts, or J.D. Robb, Divided in Death. Okay, so Eve Dallas is a lieutenant in the New York City Police and Security Department. She sees herself as a lieutenant in the police department. That is her complete and 100% identity. She's used to be alone. She's not used to being dependent on anyone, although she's gradually getting used to it, a little bit at a time. And we have to remember that even though about 20 years has passed for us, about 2 or 3 years or less has passed for Eve. She's married to the richest man in the world, and although she may live in his house and eat his food, outside of his house, she's Eve Dallas. She's not Rourke's cop or even Rourke's wife, and that is still taking time to get used to. There will be some minor and major conflicts in her life, and for this book, there's a conflict. All right. Well, first of all, we'll start a little bit at the beginning here. In this book, we learn more about Cairo and Riva. Cairo is Rourke's admin, as you know from previous books, and she's amazing at what she does. She works all hours of the night and day. Rourke calls her up at 3 a.m., do this, blah, 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 and she does it. So they get this phone call in the middle of the night. The mother's found her daughter. Please come help. So Riva Ewing used to be a government agent. She used to work for the Secret Service. She even almost gave her life for the President of the United States. And she comes across as a really, really intelligent person. And she's done all this stuff. She's now working for Rourke in his top secret R&D department. They're developing some governmental things. And it's all hush-hush and top secret. And she reacts without thinking, and that gets her in a heap full of trouble because she married this man, and I totally believe he had zero feelings for her, and he just conned her. And the fact that she was so intelligent and so brilliant and so her mind was so brilliant, and her technology and computers and stuff like that, and presidential, all that background there. Sometimes you find, and if you watch The Big Bang Theory and you know Sheldon, or I know a few other people too. Actually, this individual just passed a little while ago. Kind of sad to think about it, but some people are so brilliant. What is it? Mesa, whatever that organization is. They're the top brilliant people in the world, and they're horribly socially, totally. They have no clue how to behave socially. It's a thing. I've seen it. A couple of TV shows have focused on it, but I have seen it happen where someone is so brilliant, but they have no clue how to do socially. And the fact that Riva was so brilliant and was conned, so overwhelmingly conned, because the more you delve into her life, you're like, why did you marry this guy? She's like, I'm so in love. I don't believe it. I think if Riva had actually given it an extra thought, she was conned. The woman was conned. So while we have gone through this, having a person on Eve's side, well, Mavis was accused early on in one of the earlier first or two books, and we've also been through it with Summerset, where he was framed. Well, now Riva. So they call her to investigate and to because the Carol calls Rourke. And like I said, I feel bad that she's done such a fantastic job working for Rourke, and while she knows her daughter is innocent and she knows Eve will find the truth of the matter, it's still going to be a difficult process for both Carol and her daughter. They're going to have to go through. The daughter's going to have to go to jail, get booked, the whole 9 yards, do the truth testing, meet with Mira, the whole 9 yards. So the first thing, Rourke is having a conversation. Eve's trying to, he's frazzled. But once he starts thinking about it too, he'll get it too. And Eve is maintaining a cool head. And she's talking to Rourke, and he sat because he was suddenly tired and because he too was sick with worry over the daughter, both of whom he considered his responsibility. You believed her. Yeah, yes, I believed her. And I believe my own eyes. I'm sorry I seemed to be a little dull this morning. What did your own eyes tell you? That it was two-staged. The scene, like a vid set. Viciously murdered naked couple, knife in the prime suspect's own kitchen, sticking out of the mattress, blood in the bathroom drain, suspect's prints on the sink. One little spot she just happened to miss on the wipe down. Her prints all over the weapon, just in case investigating officers need to be led by the fucking nose. Sorry, excuse language. Book. So, then, if you read the previous book, you know that Eve, because Rourke had done the favor for Peabody and McNabb, Eve did the favor for Feeney. And she calls Feeney. Hey kid, hey, did you get my request? First thing, already cleared the time and manpower for you. I got more, dead guy's home unit. He must have it seriously passcoded. I can't get it on. Dallas, there are times you can't get your auto chef on. That's a dirty lie. She poked the data unit with a finger. I need a pickup for this and for a household of links and data centers. A boatload of security disks I need studied and analyzed. I'll send a team out for you. Pick it up. She waited a beat. Just like that, I don't even get a token, bitch. I'm in a good mood. The wife made me pancakes this morning. Can't do enough for me. I'm a freaking hero with my whole family. You flipped me that Bimini deal, Dallas, and I figure I'm going to reap the rewards for the next 6 months. I owe you. And they go on a little bit, and then Eve goes, I could learn to hate you like this, Feeney. I love it. And then, so her and Peabody are heading back. Because she appreciated it and she remembered she hadn't eaten since the night before herself, she double parked in front of it 24/7 and let Peabody make the dash in for some to-go food. They were both going to need to go off the clock for a couple of hours, get some sleep, but she wanted to get a look at Blair's workspace and get all the electronic security disks in evidence first, because the only why she could think of equals security. The only why made Reva the real target. The killings took her out deliberately, unless there was a personal reason to target her, and she'd explore that angle later. Okay. Little tease. By the time they were double parked in front of Cairo's building, Peabody's droopy eyes were back alert. Techno-terrorists, code red, government alliances, geez, Dallas, it sort of rocks. It's like spy stuff. It's like murder stuff, seeing as there are 2 bodies in the morgue. Even as she got out of the car, the doorman, spiffy in hunter green with a gold braid, marched over. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you can't leave your vehicle here. Public parking is available 2 blocks west on. He trailed off, snapped to attention like a new army recruit faced with a five-star general when Rourke strolled up to join them. Sir! I wasn't told you were expected. I was just informing this woman that her vehicle is in violation of the parking code. This is my wife, Jerry. Oh, I beg your pardon, Mrs. Lieutenant. She ground it out between her teeth. Dallas, and that makes this a police vehicle. That means it stays where I put it. Of course, Lieutenant. I'll make certain it's not disturbed. He hustled to the door, opened it with some flourish. Just call down if you need anything. I'm on the door until 4. We're fine. Nice to see you again, Jerry. Always a pleasure, sir. Rourke walked directly to the automated security panel that was flanked by 2 tall urns filled with a burnished gold fall flowers. Why don't I do it and save time? Without waiting for the go-ahead, he placed his palm on the plate and was immediately cleared. Now, wasn't that better than having a pissing match with a machine? No, I like having pissing matches with machines. It gets my blood moving. I just love it. Okay. So Rourke tells Peabody, take my car, Rourke offered, and Peabody's eyes all popped out of her head and onto her shoes. Really? What is this? Be nice to Peabody Day? If it's not, it should be. You'll save me from having to have it picked up, as I like to ride with the lieutenant. Well, any little thing I can do. He gave her the code and watched with amusement as she sauntered off, then indulged herself with a little boogie dance around the hot red Sportster. You know she's not going to drive back to her place, not right away. Watching Peabody's happy dance, Eve fisted her hands on her hips. She's going to take it out on the freeway or the turnpike, open up the ridiculous engine, and end up somewhere in New Jersey, explaining to some traffic droid that she's a cop and on some bogus assignment. Then she'll caroom back to the city, get pulled over, and give them the same story. Caroom? That's the sound that toy of yours makes, caroom. Then when McNabb gets off shift, he'll talk her into letting him take it out, and they'll get pulled over again, have to flash their badges. And if any of the traffic droids interface, you're going to get tagged and have to explain why a vehicle registered to you is being used by a couple of idiot city detectives. I love Peabody and McNabb. I just do. I'm sorry. Okay. So, a little up. So, they discover that Reva's husband was in the USO. That's it. Access denied. You run into a wall, and I have come here and sit on your lap. No, you're sitting on my lap because you wanted my candy. Rather than admit that was true, she took another bite of chocolate. Why the display fuzzy? Because fortunately I engaged filters before digging around. If I hadn't, I'd have set off alarms and made my little excavation would have set up all manner of flags. So we do it here. Computer redo last task. Acknowledge. The screen flashed off, then on again, clear. Task complete. So, you have no faith whatsoever. Just for that, sit over there and be quiet. And they discover that the husband's with Homeland Security. And then, let me make sure this is. There's another. Rourke discovers that they knew about his father, and he immediately takes care of that part. And then he discovers they knew about Eve and her situation, that they had eyes and ears on her when she was small, and they knew. And he wants to go off on them huge. And Eve, he just went through that situation with Moira O'Banion and discovering his family and stuff like that. But he really wants to protect her, and he really wants to avenge her. And she's still, while yes, she would like a little payback, she's a cop. That's Eve's, she's a cop. And she believes that if Rourke does this, whether it can be proven or not, she would have to arrest him, and it would kill her to arrest him. And she begs and pleads, and they go through this whole big thing. But it takes so that situation is put on hold. Like he's like, no, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I've got to do. It's put on hold. And then Eve will talk to, we'll get to that later. So Rourke discovers that situation. So you will have to read. I don't want to spoil too much, but he discovers that situation. Then this cute little scene with Peabody. Global espionage isn't so very different from the corporate sort. Rourke picked up the pot and topped off his coffee. If they're working on specs or have another organization working on the protection program, it would pay them just to know what we're up to. And to kill for it. Just another kind of organized crime. Peabody flushed a little. Sorry, free agent route showing. Realistically, I know governments need covert organizations to gather intelligence to help predict terrorist attacks, to help dismantle terrorists and political fanatic groups. But it's the fact that they don't always have to play by the rules that corrupt the individuals that make up the whole. And that sounded just like my father. It's okay, she-buddy. McNabb gave her knee a squeeze. I think free agents are hot. Don't you love it? Okay. So then Feeney's also included in the little briefing, and she tells Feeney what happened. And because Eve sees him as her father in emotional and support and other kind of ways, he goes forward. And then and Peabody and McNabb go on their first away mission. I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of Picard and Stargate away missions, Star Trek. They go to Bim, and she brings Eve a really cute gift, and we also get some Mavis. And we also get, in the previous book, they had attended a barbecue at Mira's. So Rourke decided he wanted barbecue, so he has them over. And I like the social situations. I like catching up with the characters, because that's one of the reasons why I read series, is not only because we do solve a murder mystery each book, and Eve does solve the case, but I like to watch the character progression. I like to watch the friendships grow. I like to read about the character developments. I like to follow the storyline, how the friendships grow, how the friendships make Nadine and Mira and Feeney and Morris and McNabb and Leonardo and Trina and Summerset. It's a whole huge family, and it's growing for Eve. And I like to watch the progression. Each book, they grow just a little bit more. And it really works, and I really like it. And I thoroughly, absolutely, as you can tell by some of these readings, enjoy the back and forth between Peabody and Eve. It's just hilarious. And also another issue in the book, Eve learns a little more about Mira's background too. And so they have a little, so not only does she have a little issue with Roarke, which you'll have to read the book to see how that's resolved, but then she has a little issue with Mira. And Eve takes that a little more seriously. She gets really angry at Mira. And so then Mira has to divulge some more of her personal history. But you'll have to read the book to see how this is all resolved and how Eve solves it. And really feel bad for Riva because it was so over her head. I just there's so much wrong with her marriage. From the outside looking in, I don't know how, this woman was totally run over, totally, absolutely blown away from the core that she bought all his lies and manipulations, and his art was the most ugliest thing. I don't know how anybody. There's this thing in my neighborhood. I won't tell you where. Huge. It's about 3 or 4 pieces of metal, and it swings in the. I have no idea why anybody thinks that, but it is. It's huge. It's like 200 or 300 feet tall and 1,000 feet wide, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I like to talk about books. I like to watch the character progression. I don't have any special talents. I can't make subscribe buttons appear. I can't do anything technically. I'm just like to talk about books. I like to read books a lot. This is my favorite series in the whole. One of my favorite series. This is my favorite detective mystery kind of series. I do have some cozy mysteries that I'm getting into, and as you can see behind me, it's my entire paranormal section that we will be doing again later. Those of you paranormal fans, go check out my Smolder spoiler review, and please take the time to like and subscribe to the channel. It means so much. If you are TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or any of those, please feel free to share the channel everywhere. I need more viewers. I need likes. I need subscribers. I'm not one of these people. You see those stupid, I gained 1,000 or 1,000,000 subscribers in 2 days. Yeah, as you can see, I've been doing this a little while now, and I'm not even close to any of those guys. But they've got all the technical babble and fancy equipment, and I can't afford all that. I'm barely feeding my family as it is. But anyways, definitely check out the book. And next one is Vision, so we'll have to go with that. But please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening to me talk about my favorite book. Thank you. Please read.